Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We're here with another war video, and this is actually going to be my last war video ever. This is ISO8A versus JA, war number 12 of season 35. I'm retiring. And the video announcing my retirement doesn't even come out for like a day after this video. So, yeah, if you're watching this war video, there you go. You know a little early. But we have a fun team today of Doctor Doom, Apocalypse, and Nimrod. So we actually get to bring all rank 4 6-stars to war, which I'm pretty sure this is the only time I've ever done that. Nimrod is actually only for one fight. I do fight 2 mutants, but I end up using Apocalypse for the other to ramp him up. We are going to be on Path 1, Section 1, over to Path 6, Section 2. I have 4 path fights and 3 mini fights, only one of which I've done before. So, a lot of new fights in this war. Yeah, only one of the 7 I've done before. So we have this white Magneto. Now, obviously, Nimrod would be a great counter to this, but we need to get charges for our Apocalypse. So we're going to be boosting up here. I had just enough attack boosts and health boosts to make it to the end of the season, as I am going to have to boost up twice in this war. We're using our mutant special boosts. Use that SP3 boost, even though like literally does nothing. I was just using it. And then I'm putting a note on here for myself because my first 2 fights are with Apocalypse. They're actually my only 2 Apocalypse fights. And then I'm switching to Doom/Nimrod, so I'm going to want to turn Suicides off. We're throwing on a Invuln boost for the first 2 fights. And then I believe we go SP1 boost for the 3rd and the 4th. Regen for the 5th, and then an Invuln for the 6th and the 7th. So while you do get some ability accuracy reduction from white Magneto, it's much less than you get from red Magneto, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now, this node does have some pretty big healing. Like as you see right here, he's gaining 2,500 health a second. That's going to change very soon. So here I'm just going to dash back and wait for all of his charges to fall off. But here I just want to get to my special 2 and throw it. And the ability accuracy reduction, I'm actually going to get really, really unlucky. And he's actually going to fail my debuffs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in a row. So it took till the 5th hit for my debuff on the L2 to apply. But then when it did, it did so much damage that it got me to my L3. It did like 50% of his health. And I just threw my L3 right after he threw his L2. And White Mags was down. That's a really safe way to just grab some charges on a nothing node. And Apocalypse was just for this fight. So if I'd used Nimrod for that other one, Apoc still would have destroyed this fight. But I just wanted to make it a little safer, and I was 100% sure there was no risk in that White Mags fight with Apoc. Especially with him being a rank 4 with one of the highest health pools in the entire game. And this is Juggernaut on Masochism. And there's not really too much to this fight there. It turns out you actually can do the medium light medium into their block, and then you can start another combo in war. I wasn't sure how that would interact with Limber because I've never done it in war before. This was the first time, and then there I got caught in a dash back trying to bait a special. There he finally throws it. But turns out you do have time, but I just wanted to play it safe, so I dash back. Here, first chance I get, I throw my L2, and it almost kills him and gets him down to 3%. 2% by the time we get to our special, and then second L2 kills. We could have thrown that L2 into the block. It wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, that's all my APOC fights, and yeah, very, very good fight. I do believe APOC was the best counter for that fight, so glad I did that. But yeah, we only have 2 APOC fights, 1 Nimrod fight, and then 4 Doom fights. So this is a very Doom-heavy war. And this next fight is against the same Man-Thing that I've taken, I believe, 4 times this season. And the first 2 times I took it, it went very, very well. I played almost perfectly, and the fight was like just barely over a minute. The third time I took it, it went very poorly, and I ended with about 70% health. But I took about 2 minutes to end the fight. This one is somewhere in the middle. Obviously, there are very small mistakes made, but overall, I was decently happy with how the fight went. Also, the fact that I'm max boost means that these Mystic Power Back boosts are going to give me a lot of power back. We are, like I said, going to be throwing on a SP1 boost. That was my last SP1 boost, but I knew it was my last SP1 boost, so I planned which fights I was going to use it for. And it just so happened that the 2 fights it helps the most in are my 2 fights in a row. So right there, I should have just thrown a... I should have just thrown the L2, but here what I'm able to do is I'm actually able to activate Masochism before throwing my L2, so all my Incinerate sticks, so I'm actually not too mad with that. And, like, my power back boost, they're giving me a decent amount back. And then here, Manthing was being really annoying, so I intercept him with an L1. I didn't want him to throw the special, so I had to hold my block, which means that I was not able to safely parry, because he could obviously go for a heavy attack and not let me reparry. But we're doing a pretty good job of getting him locked down. There he does throw an L1 just randomly. I don't understand why. And then there is a second L1. We're actually going to get pretty lucky, and we're not going to get either of those nullified. So I threw the L2 into the block. That was obviously a mistake, but it did allow the timer for the postules to go down quite a lot. And actually neither gets nullified, which is really, really cool, because they almost always get nullified. But yeah, even with all these mistakes, the only real way you can die in this fight is either by letting him get his Furies or letting him get to a special 3, which are things I've done. I've done both of those things. However, when I let him get a bunch of Furies, it didn't lead to a death. But when I let him get to a special 3, it did lead to a death, as you guys saw last season. But there we nullified our Sig ability to place the shock, so we were able to throw the L2 safely while not worrying about Masochism. Here we go for our L1 again. Yeah, it's just over. I was gonna say again places a shock, but then I realized it didn't place a shock because the timer was not there yet. And yeah, that's it. Decent fight. I was actually pretty happy with it. So now we have this Sauron on Footloose. Now, I wasn't too worried about this fight. I played this fight horribly. I did get a parry, and I just want to say thank you for giving me this Mr. Fantastic pre-fight. It didn't really affect anything in the fight, but had the fight gone a lot worse than this, it would have really helped. So there, obviously, I made a mistake. I didn't switch into my Blitz fast enough, I believe. Blitz is the one that removes prowess. Whichever the one that removes prowess is, I didn't switch there, which I should have done in my first combo. And he got enough prowess to go unblockable. I did the correct thing in dexing his hit, or else I would have taken a combo to the face there. But I did take an L1 to the face, but luckily that's my only Nimrod fight, and despite how horribly I played that, I still ended at 96%. So now I am boosting up in Alliance War for maybe the last time right here. So I'm boosting to the max. I'm throwing on Mystic special boosts. Now, it wouldn't actually matter that much if I threw on power back boosts. I was just a little worried about how it would mess me up with MD for my second and third fights. Now, obviously, for the first one, Hood doesn't gain any buffs on his own, other than Dex. But for the other two defenders, they do. So I was just a little bit worried about what that would do for the fight. So this is a pretty straightforward fight. Basically, all you want to do is get your L3 and then kill him. So we're going to do 2 heavy attacks and then 5-hit combo into an L1. control his power. If he wants to throw the L1, I'll let him throw it. I just can't let him throw the L1 into my block too many times, or else I will take extra damage. Here I still have my regen boost up, so I decided to go for a reparry. I'm going to end this fight at a full yellow bar. We get him just above 2 bars of power, and then we throw our L3, so at this point the fight is already over. Hood isn't really a great defender. I've never personally seen him get a single kill, but... or actually, I've died to Hood. But that was like 20 seasons ago or 25 seasons ago. It's one of my first seasons, but I remember dying to him. It was on the original war map, so the first war map. That's how long ago this was, and it was on Path 6, Section 2, the second node. And I remember how I died as well. I don't know how I remember this, because this was literally like 2.5 or 3 years ago. I got hit by one combo, and he crit all 5 hits. That's how I remember, because I was like, I'm so confident in this matchup. It was Magic versus Hood. And I took one combo in the entire fight. It happened to be when I didn't have Limbo up. And he crit all 5 hits and killed me. And with only 4 out of 5 crits, I don't even think I die from the combo that I took. So right there, I was trying to land an intercept, and I missed the intercept. I just didn't dash fast enough. And then right there, I thought I was at an L1, but I'm dumb. And then here, he just throws the L2 into my block, so I know I can't block the entire thing or he'll go unblockable. So I was just kind of watching, paying attention. And then here I notice his Furies are about to expire, so I throw my L1. I threw it slightly late because A, I knew it would be unblockable, and B, I wanted to monitor the Fury buff so that they expired after my L1 beams hit. So that they expired before my L1 beams hit, so then I would get both the power from them and the other buffs being nullified, because if my L1 had nullified them, then the other buffs wouldn't have been nullified because the Furies were further to the left. That's the way it works. That's not helpful. I don't know why I had to mention that, but that was my thought process in the fight. So now we have the Sersi. So I did actually fight Sersi in the last war as well. I didn't really say anything about that Venom fight, but basically all you want to do is not parry. And then here, I missed a parry due to input issues. That wasn't just me being bad. I will admit when I was bad. For example, in that Venom fight, I missed an intercept, but in this case, that one was not my fault. That was input issues. And then here, I should have just thrown my L2 as an intercept. But there, I tried to parry, but the miss messed me up. So I am going to throw a heavy attack. So at that point, I kind of had decided that I was going to do the whole L3 cycle. I knew the way that I interacted with the node where me constantly staggering and nullifying would be feeding her power, but I was pretty confident that I would be getting enough power that it wouldn't really matter. So here, for example, I'm at like 2.2 bars. I throw one heavy attack, gets me all the way to 3 bars because of A, the heavy attack, and B, Mystic Dispersion from the buff being gone. And while that also gives her a bunch of power and sends her to an L3, it doesn't matter because I'm at my L3. So here, after my second L3, still at 96%, she's just going to die from this L1. And the fight's over. And that was my last fight ever, which is crazy. And we lost this war against JA. It didn't matter who won this war because JA and I... both ISO8A and JA, we were in 4th and 5th place respectively. We were in 4th, they were in 5th. The top 3 all won their wars, and yeah. So the top 3 won't change. The top 3 is going to be GT40, TCN, and MIBR. It's just that they're going to be 4th and we're going to be 5th. The war's already over and the leaderboard's already updated, so I know what the leaderboard is. We will end this season in 5th place, and JA will end in 4th. So this war didn't actually end up mattering. But the score was 8-2, but one of our deaths didn't count because we died 4 times to one node. So it was actually... yeah, because it was actually 7-2 as far as attack bonus loss goes. But we are going to end the season with a record of 9-3. And to be honest, I'm not even that mad about our losses, because if you look at our 3 losses, they're to the alliances that ended 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We lost to everyone above us except for GT40, and I can't even be mad about that. We played well. It's just the alliances that were playing better were the alliances we matched, and they beat us fair and square, so fair play. I personally had 2 deaths this season, so my first death was to Hitmonkey on Power Snack with Doom. Completely winnable fight. I just fucked it up so badly. I did use an invuln, but I ate 2 L3s, or sorry, no. I ate 2 heavy attacks, 1 L3, and I was still alive at 15% health, and then I ate an L2 and I died from that. So, obviously could have been played way, way better. Very soloable fight with Doom, even though he's not even the best counter. But yeah, bonehead move. And then the second one was with Hercules versus Strife, and I believe that was in War 9. I think it was War 9. Yeah, War 9 sounds right. Either 8 or 9. I think it was 9. And I had Nimrod on the team, and I should have used Nimrod. Had I used Nimrod, I would have won the fight. I don't know why I didn't, and that's why I lost. Also, I missed a parry. I didn't throw my L1 when I was supposed to. I threw my L2. How did I throw my L2? No, I never reached my L2, right. So I only ever got to throw the 1 special in the fight. Just massively fucked up fight. So this season we're going to end with a PSR of 68 out of 70, which is, still good. I'm taking 10 more fights than average, and I'm dying approximately the average time. Let me think about it. So if every person were to die twice in a season, that would be 60 deaths. Divided by 12 would be 5 per war, and I believe our average was either 5 or 6, because although we did have a bunch of 1 death, 2 death, 3 death wars, we also had like an 8 death war, 12 death war, and another 8 death war. So I'd say our average was somewhere around 5 or 6, so somewhere around Alliance average. And also, this doesn't really matter because this is a stat more used for continuation either in the middle of the season or between seasons as far as my streak goes. But my Deathless streak is going to end at 21, and I don't mean end as in like I lost the streak, end as in like there's no way for it to continue. I'm not going to lose it, and it's never going to increase as long as I don't return. But yeah, that was my last war video ever, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure I'm going to really miss making these videos because it was just kind of the thing that I did 3 times every week. I would upload 3 a week. It was kind of nice just reviewing what I was doing, talking over it, and I ended up doing this for like 15 seasons. I think I started doing commentary on my war videos somewhere around season 20, maybe slightly earlier or slightly later, roughly 20. So yeah, I did this for like 15 seasons, which is crazy to me. Now, obviously, a bunch of those wars had to be taken down for reasons that I've explained previously, but almost all of them are still up. And then I think there were like 2 seasons I didn't upload at all. One of those seasons was great. It was like a 1 death season, but the other one was like a 6 death season. I think it was my worst season ever, like ever, period, which is why I didn't upload it. I'm not one to shy away from uploading deaths, but when it's 6 deaths, yeah, maybe. That's going to be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have been enjoying my war videos. I will talk more about the future of my channel in my retirement video, so watch out for that. I'll see you guys later. Bye.